would have to turn around and play again this evening.
Yeah, so Florida will face Texas A&M if Florida beats Kentucky in this game. Of course, as we talked about yesterday, the weather, I predicted that there would be issues, and there was, and so they not immediately, but early on, they went ahead and rescheduled this game to today at 11 Eastern. It was supposed to be last night at 7 p.m. because of the weather. I texted a friend that she asked me why they were moving it, and I said, well, there's a cold front coming through Omaha, and she said, that's silly. Why can't they play in the cold? And I was like, well, it's not because of the cold. It's because the cold.
If anything, it's like 96 degrees out there. Like Jacksonville was actually cooler than Omaha on Monday this week.
Yeah, it was warm in Omaha. But so I had to explain that the cold front was bringing thunderstorms, even with hail. And so that's why they couldn't play last night. It's now, by the way, 66 degrees there in Omaha. So if you were playing, I feel like baseball earlier this week, and it was so hot now, I feel like you'd need long sleeves. But yeah, so very interesting. Jack Caglione led off for Florida today, which is the first time he's done that, not just in the postseason, but I think all season long. And like Mia mentioned, Florida State did defeat North Carolina yesterday, eliminating the Tar Heels. That was a 9-5 game, and we had home runs from Clay High's own Max Williams and then Tallahassee native Jackson West. So we'll certainly keep you updated tomorrow on what happens in all the games today. Well, I should say the FSU game later today at 3 o'clock. And I don't know who's pitching yet for FSU, but I do know Tennessee is going to throw left-handed pitcher Xander Sechrist with a 3.26 ERA. So I'm not, of course, cheering for FSU, but I will say if anybody deserves to beat the Vols, it's the Noles after what happened in that first game.
And hey, you also heard Allison Posey, of course, covers Florida State, but went to UF earlier this week. She's echoed what you've said all along, Lauren, and I know, Taylor, you've kind of said, wouldn't it be a cool storyline if it is the two teams from Florida, one of whom has been a top 10 team throughout the duration of the season, the other of whom was in the College World Series championship a year ago, fell short of expectations, found a way into the postseason. I know NC State was, quote-unquote, the last team into the College World Series, but you can make an argument that Florida wasn't close behind. And if it is those two teams in that final best-of-3 series, wouldn't that be a storyline? Not just for us and our own, rooting interests here at 1010XL and here in the state of Florida.
It's great for our show.
But exactly. I think for the brand, it would be great, but also I think it would be, and I'm curious to get your take, would it be a Goliath versus David situation?
No.
Who would be David or Goliath? Because both programs have been here before, but
Florida State's been to College World Series 24 times.
Right.
They just have never won.
Right. But the other one was in the College World Series championship round a year ago. And has been there 9 times under Kevin O'Sullivan.
Right. 14 times total.
And I think that's why, because how closely the Gators were in it, just because I think a little bit of a letdown this season of what expectations were, but I know, Lauren, you've mentioned this a few times.
Not now.
But for regular season.
Yeah.
But I know you've mentioned this a few times of their schedule and the teams they were beating in the regular season, though, or at least playing competitively. It was always kind of this indication that they're not a bad baseball team. There were just moments of just certain moments. I think that the pitching part was a large part that they just couldn't pull it all together, but Kevin O'Sullivan found a way to do that when it mattered the most.
Yeah, the young pitchers had to settle in, and obviously Kevin O'Sullivan asks a lot of his pitching staff, and midweek games and also in other crucial situations in SEC contests, it fell short, and so you had guys like Cade Fisher and Fisher Jamison that were expected to be really good in the bullpen, and they just didn't perform the way that Sully thought. But now, once they got into the postseason, that has changed. And so Brandon Neely, of course, as well, I mentioned him yesterday. It does help that he gets the extra day of rest. I'm sure it helps some of Kentucky's relievers too. But at this point in time, with, again, the score 7-1 in the top of the third, I don't know that Florida will even need Brandon Neely. Again, assuming that it stays like this with this margin, because obviously you're going to save him for tonight if you're going to face Texas A&M at 7 o'clock.
And it's still a 9-inning game.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It's not like they're shortening it because the winner of this game has to play later this evening.
Yeah. So Pierce Coppola, Mia, I don't know if you know about him. He's the guy who started today for Florida. He's from New Jersey, and they call him the unit because he's 6'8".
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's huge.
Almost as big as
Olivier right there on the mound.
Olivier Roux.
What is he?
Kags is more like 6'5", 250 or something. So yeah, Pierce Coppola, who actually hadn't been pitching all that well, is on the mound right now for Florida, and they're showing Brandon Neely, by the way. The game also is on 10:10 a.m. I feel like I'm too wired to do today's show.
I walked past your desk, Lauren, and you were just so locked in, and part of me was like, oh no, I don't even want to like go over to her because I know she's like got to have her lucky bracelets, and she's already not in the lucky spot right now. But hey, at least things are trending in the right direction, even regardless of your spot. No, if you missed the subtle jest the joke that I made there with regards to the unit. Let's stay in Gatorland before we get ready to welcome on our next guest and also touch on the Knowles and the Stanley Cup last night. Did you see Chris Harry from the University of Florida's tweet last night?
I did not.
Regarding Olivier Roux.
I did.
The Gators' incoming freshman. For those of you who are not familiar, Todd Golden successfully recruited the largest teenager in the world. He holds the Guinness World Record, and thank you to Graham Hall for getting the scoop for us. Olivier Roux arrived in Gainesville earlier this week and officially measured in at 7'9", 290 pounds.
How does that happen?
I don't know how. Like,
His
look,
poor mama.
There's like two ways of looking at this because he's a 3-star recruit out of IMG, and obviously he's from Europe, Canada. So he's not from the United States originally. I'm like, is he a 3-star recruit solely because of these measurables that you can't teach? Or is he just such a raw ball of clay akin to Zach Edey once upon a time that, I mean, if Todd Golden could coach this kid up, we've never seen a guy at 7'9", 290. Because that's bigger than Yao Ming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we saw how well the Hunter Dickinson did this year, and Zach Edey, that's who I'm thinking of. We saw how well Zach Edey did.
Right, Hunter Dickinson looked like a midget next to him. And so go check out, if you're online right now, folks, like Heeligans, please go to Chris Harry's tweet. And I just want you to see a 6'11" Gator standing next to this kid. It's unlike, I can't even like wrap my brain around it.
He honestly, especially like put his hand up, touched the rim, no problem.
Right, like he's still like he's maybe what, like an inch off the ground, and he's at the rim. Like this is just, it's insane.
It certainly is. But yeah, Todd Golden, what is he known for? I feel like to this point, getting really good players out of the transfer portal, recruiting. He's done a little bit of that but moreover, the transfer portal. So, yeah, Olivier Roux, I don't know exactly where he's from. I just assumed France because
I think it is.
Of the name.
But then I saw he had he's from Canada. Yeah, he's French-Canadian.
French-Canadians.
There's actually a French-Canadian that plays for Kentucky, Petrie. I saw the story where because he speaks French as his first language, he had to learn English when he got to Kentucky. And they did not jokingly say this, but I kind of wanted to jokingly say
English
this. Like,
in Kentucky.
Yeah, like when you learn English in Kentucky, is that a slightly different, I guess, language that we learned? But either way, like I said, we'll keep you
it's
updated.
maybe better than Louisiana because that accent may be a little different.
A little bit French, a little bit different France than what they're even speaking in Montreal, which is apparently where Olivier Roux is originally from.
Okay. That's right. So first-round draft pick still in the College World Series. Jack Caglione, Texas A&M has Braden Montgomery, but he had a season-ending injury that he suffered in the Super Regional against Oregon, so he won't be able to play. Jace Laviolette, he's not a first-rounder, but also for Texas A&M, he's the one that had the Ashton Wilson's ball gotten out of the park the other night, but Jace Laviolette is the one who was able to keep it in and rob the home run. Florida would have beaten Texas A&M at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, but Laviolette is the one who just suffered a hamstring injury in their most recent game against Kentucky. So we'll wait and see if he's going to play tonight. Other first-rounders still in the College World Series for FSU, James Tibbs, Cam Smith. For Tennessee, second baseman Christian Moore and Billy Amick, the third baseman. And then Kentucky left fielder, who's in this game right now, Ryan Waldschmidt. So you have a ton of talent with the final 4 teams remaining.
Which, speaking of, I tweeted this yesterday, how the MLB just does things so weird. And their draft combine is while the College World Series is going on, which is so odd to me because you would think, number one, you would want a little more attention on your combine, and that's not going to happen when a lot of the top players are currently playing. But when I saw that yesterday, all the videos coming out of the draft combine for Major League Baseball, I was like, such weird timing. You couldn't wait a couple more weeks just so it's not overlapping one of the biggest event that you have in baseball for that level.
Yeah, and you would think, too, that's like holding the NFL combine without, like, Marvin Harrison Jr. or, other guys that were playing in final.
It's like during the bowl games, or like the final bowl, the most most important
Right, the
playoff
college football
games,
playoff. Yeah.
and you're having your combine during that.
Yeah, although I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. didn't really do anything at the combine, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that is surprising that they would have that. All right, so in
Real quick, a programming note. If you are watching on the MyBookie Digital Studio, we do have engineer Richie once again in studio. He is working with our brand new fancy cameras. So if you are seeing the back of Taylor Doll's head right now, or if that interests you and now you want to log on to the 1010XL YouTube channel, don't be alarmed. We are just going through our new equipment that we have here in-house, and so all's well.
No.
Listen, hey, yep, it's all good. I know Hef in the MyBookie Digital Studio chat says there's some overlapping audio, Richie. So we're bearing through some technical difficulties, but in the end, it'll mean that in the coming weeks, months, years to follow, you're going to have a crystal clear image right there on the MyBookie Digital Studio.
I think I brushed the back of my head.
It's funny when girls who straighten their hair, and Taylor, you know this. Yeah.
Usually the back is
Not as good.
It's not
usually quite as
good. And I always thought I did a good job, and then when we did Loser Monday, and we would video each person like delivering food. If ever I was the one who was the loser, which of course happened a lot, it would be the back of my head sometimes as I went to get the food, and I was like, I am not
straightening the back of my
hair. Like, I had no idea. Nobody ever told me.
Missed a whole section. I really did. All right, let's get into the hockey.
Last night, the Florida Panthers lost 5-3 at home against Edmonton. The series is now 3-2 with the Panthers in the lead, but they head back to Canada, and that puck drops Friday night, 8 o'clock. You've got to be so nervous if you're the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing like Panthers fans, Panthers media. I know we have some in Healigan Nation, so please feel free to hit us up 641-1010 saying they're not nervous, that, you know, the Miami Heat once upon a time, they were down, and look what they did to the Celtics a year ago. Of course, the Celtics have now gone on to win an NBA championship this season. But, yeah, I mean, you can call Game 4 an aberration, say that 9-1 score, it was fluky, you know, it was a snowball effect. But I also saw plenty of folks who had concerns about Bobrovsky and the fact that a guy who looked, Taylor, like a top one-of-one goalie in the world the first 3 games of this series, when one goal goes in, the next one isn't that far behind, at least over the past 2 games.
Yeah, and honestly, even back to I think it was Game 2, because it was the Panthers won by 1, and those two, the first 3 games to me, Panthers won each of those in a different way, which was also wild because I feel like usually in the NHL you kind of have your identity and you know whether they're good at the power plays or whether they're that aggressive, more, you know, penalty, take advantage of the aggressiveness type of team or the puck handling type of team. The Panthers have done a little bit of each of it, and those 3 wins, each one was won a little bit differently. And so that was what was interesting to me because on one of the games, they outshot the Oilers by like 30 shots, and then won. The next game, they were outshot by like 20 shots, still won the game. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know if there's any beating this Panthers team because whether
there's a lot of ways to
getting
skin a
shots
cat,
on goal
right.
or not shots on goal, they're getting it in the net. And it just has completely flipped the last couple games. And obviously the 8-1 game was wild. That you don't see that often at all in hockey, especially in the finals or in the playoffs. But then last night even, I mean, it was
giving up the shorthanded goal was where, I mean, that's where if you want to talk momentum, I mean, like talk about deflating.
Yeah. I mean, and Connor McDavid's just out of his mind. He's setting every record you can possibly set. I was seeing something earlier. I would have to find the graphic again, but comparing him to Wayne Gretzky and the stats that he's just behind Wayne Gretzky in so many different categories in the NHL, and that's what a lot of the storyline was. I think the Panthers, it was almost that the NBA Finals where it was like the Oilers have Connor McDavid, and he's probably one of the best, if not the best, players in hockey right now. But the Panthers were a little more well-rounded and kind of played more evenly throughout the season. So people were like, what's going to win? This absolute star stud of Connor McDavid or the Panthers, who have kind of a little bit of everything? And at first it looked like that a little bit of everything, just like the Celtics was going to win. But I don't know. I'd be nervous if I was Florida.
Yeah, certainly. And especially now you have to go to Canada.
That
is,
right.
And they're going to be losing their ever-loving minds.
And was it you? Somebody mentioned about how it's like the farthest any team has had to
yes,
travel.
Mia said that, yeah.
Yeah, which is
in the history
also,
of the
that's
Stanley
not
Cup.
easy. And obviously the Oilers going to Florida and still being able to compete their way while they're on the
two
road.
in Rhode Island,
yeah.
absolutely.
And we're still in that weird storm pattern where those flights out of Sunrise in the Miami-Fort Lauderdale area still could get delayed, and so making for even more of travel woes. Ladies, there's a question that Taylor Taylor looked at me, and Taylor was like, "This is last week," and she
I
said,
was like, who's in our studio? I'm just
"Oh yeah." She also said that. She also said that as we welcome our next guest to take a seat here in the studio. Last week, Taylor looked at me and said, "Everyone's talking about NIL in high schools in Florida, in high schools across the country. I just want to learn more about it." And so, with that, I said, I have a pretty good idea who we can bring into the studio. As we pivot right now to none other than John Scromolo, the athletic director at St. John's Country Day, formerly of Clay County, to explain and answer that very loaded question that so many here in the state of Florida have been trying to comprehend over the last few weeks. How are you, friend?
Good evening. Afternoon, not evening. Good afternoon. No, great. So thanks
Making
so much
your debut in the 1010XL studios. You
Yeah.
said, just hopping on the All Pro Roofing hotline, that's not enough. I want to come get the full 1010 experience.
For sure. No, thanks so much for having me on the show. I'm super excited to be here, and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can because I don't think even the powers that be have answers to those questions, which is why I think people get so fired up about it. But nevertheless, it's fun to be here.
So let's quick run through, too. So, again, you were the athletic director at Ridgeview, athletic director for Clay County, St. John's Country Day. You've also served on a couple different boards at the FHSAA level. And so that's where I thought you'd be the perfect person to kind of explain how we got to this point where high school athletes will have the opportunity to profit off their name, image, and likeness. And in turn, which I know has been the big buzz around social media, could actually be making more money than their coaches.
Sure, yeah. So just a little bit of a backstory. So from the FHSAA perspective, I'm actually still the chairman of the FHSAA ADAC, the Athletic Directors Advisory Council. We're kind of the level right under the board of directors, the boots on the ground. This is what's happening at schools. This is what we want to see with policy changes, XYZ. The way that all this kind of actually came to fruition was last year the Florida legislature passed House Bill 225, which essentially was universal school choice, not just for academics, which matched House Bill 1. It was also school choice for athletics. And you're starting to see around the nation, I think it's over 30 states have implemented NIL through their legislative body, whether that's the state or the state legislature. So I believe Florida was starting to get some pressure, especially with Georgia having it, to kind of go ahead and move in that direction. There's a lot of questions about how it's going to be implemented. I think the big elephant in the room in the state of Florida is the most open school choice state in the nation, even with athletics, right? So, House Bill 225 has changed a lot of rules. For instance, for public school students, if your school doesn't offer cross country, you can run cross country at another school while being enrolled at your own home school. So that alone can get kind of dicey and confusing, and anytime you mix competition with rules, there's always going to be people that maybe don't have the best intentions. So it's going to be the job of the executive director and the board of directors and the state board of education to come up with some safeguards to ensure that students have success.
Now, there's still another step to this. The Florida State Board still has to ratify it for it to become effective. And I think the surprising part, and this is one of when this first dropped, Mia and I's first reaction was it was unanimous for the FHSAA. Were you surprised at all that it was a unanimous selection from them?
No, I think so. When House Bill 225 happened, the board makeup changed significantly. The governor gets 9 appointments to the board of directors now through the Commissioner of Education. So you're starting to see a lot of policy coming from the governor's office, the legislature, and I think that it was coming kind of a thing. Maybe a little bit faster than some of us would have thought, and I think that's going to be the tricky point is how quick will staff be able to say, oh no, this is a hot button problem, like we're getting kids that are, signing contracts that are not beneficial to them and those types of things. So I think it was going to happen. Ultimately for me, I think the thing is you look at, like, I always relate it to this change, right? So Nick Saban doesn't run the same offense that he ran back in the day, right? You have to adapt. And I think that it's, for me as a student athlete in the state of Florida, I've seen I'm a baseball guy. I've seen the total transformation of growing up at Clay High School in Green Cove Springs, Florida, playing only for my local team, getting a college scholarship. There was no perfect game. There was no school choice. You went to the school you were zoned for. Now to this recruiting or the Major League Combine, that's new. All that stuff is new. So there's a lot of change that's happening really fast, but I think it is inevitable, and it's one of those things that we need to look at it as a positive thing and then try to, for me, it's important to salvage the core values of educational-based athletics. Because at the end of the day, the data doesn't lie. Less than 5% of the student athletes in high school are going to get to play college and pro sports. So for me, sometimes I feel like we're taking kids' childhoods away from them a little bit when we start making all these big adult decisions when let's play for our school, let's play for our community. And if we're blessed enough to play at the next level, we can talk about that.
All right, then I'm going to ask the loaded questions. So let's say there's a star pitcher in our area, and he's at the age where he gets to decide where he's going to high school. Can one high school pay him to come to their school because now NIL is approved?
Yeah, so that's and I think that's where the messaging from the state is going to be really, really important. What is this and what is it not? So the current 3-page document that they've released has said you are not, and I will say that, spell it out, N-O-T, allowed to have collectives. So you cannot, essentially, the school can't be involved in the process. It is a business transaction between the student's family and a business, right? And that's going to be the biggest thing, is that making sure that people are policing themselves with the state, right? When they see something that doesn't look good, that needs to be reported to the FHSAA, and then the FHSAA is going to have to work together with their board to essentially come up with the safeguards, as I like to call them.
Because there can be a big donor for a high school that they have the business and they go to the student, and then that is encouraging the student to go to said high school.
No question. And that's the other thing, too, is it's kind of interesting. It's like people look at from their past experience. So, like college, it's full-blown. I mean, you're talking about Texas A&M and Florida State. They have these huge collectives where it's like, not only are we paying for your education, you're going to make $50,000 a year, right?
Or way more.
Right, or way more. So that's not high school NIL. And I think, it's in my opinion, obviously, but Georgia's had it in for a couple of years. The numbers of like a true NIL deal, over 400,000 student athletes, state of Georgia. There was like 33
Yeah, I
NIL.
think I saw 44 up to date with that, which is like very small portion,
Sure.
obviously.
And I mean, even I'm a Division II baseball player. I played at Flagler and St. Augustine, and I'm still close with a lot of their athletic administration. And I was talking to their athletic director. I said, "Hey, has NIL kind of affected?" And he kind of chuckled. He's like, "Well, we got a basketball player that has a little something." He goes, "But more than that, it's like they get a free smoothie once a month from Planet Smoothie if they said, hey, I just drank this smoothie from Planet Smoothie in St. Augustine." So I think it's fun to get excited about and talk about, but the reality is the amount of kids that are actually going to full-fledged benefit is extremely small.
Now, part of it, too, and I don't want to generalize here, and this is with all due respect to the state of Georgia, but knowing how many private schools in the state of Florida, especially down there in the Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, knowing that historically speaking, the St. Thomas Aquinas of the world have been able to bring in the best talent just based off of the credibility and the trajectory and the pipeline to college and then the National Football League. I'm very curious the perspective of, yes, I understand Georgia has had this for a couple of years. They only have 44 kids or whatever it is, but I just can't help but feel like there's going to be 44 kids at St. Thomas Aquinas that will be somehow like, or not to put everything on that school, because I think you could say the Bulls of the world, the Trinity Christians, like a lot of these private schools that have the history that they do, and they have sponsorships and they have local businesses that they work with. I just can't but help but feel like this is going to be a bigger scaled version of what's happening in Georgia.
John, hold that thought. We're going to keep you. Can you hang out with us for another segment?
For sure.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
We're going to keep you on the round here for one more segment because we have more to get to as well as baseball. So thanks so much for hanging out with us. We'll be back right here on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a Helmets and Heels Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You have heard about the 1010XL YouTube channel. Now check out our team-specific channels, 1010XL Jaguars, 1010XL Gators, and 1010XL Seminoles, bringing up specific, up-to-the-minute video coverage of your favorite local team. And find us on YouTube today.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
Guys, feeling deflated in the bedroom? ED, low T, no energy? If your stuff is broken, call 904-STROKEN or 904stroken.com. No shots in the first treatment, now free. Fix your ED at 904stroken.com.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Do you have clicking, popping, swelling, or pain in your knee or shoulder? This can be due to arthritic changes in your joints. Over time, you have wear and tear of your cartilage. I am Dr. George Bari, and here at Bari Orthopedics, we have numerous ways to treat your arthritis, such as regenerative medicine, including PRP and joint replacements with CT guidance for accuracy down to the millimeter. If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, call us for an appointment today, or log on to BariOrthopedics.com.
Find out more at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com.
For the greenest, luscious lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, it's what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 2854-LAW. 2854-LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
When you hear a great call on 1010XL, telephone communique. It's covered by the All-Pro Roofing phone line.
If you'd like any further information, just call me.
Listen for great phone interviews all day on the All-Pro Roofing phone line on 1010XL.
Hey sports fans, it's Hayes Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Look, if mosquitoes ruin your summer fun, it's time to call Kingfish Pest Control. In my own experience, they are the kings of mosquito elimination. Call Kingfish Pest Control today and get 50% off your first treatment. Sign up for a full season of lockdown coverage and get half off your first treatment. Don't let mosquitoes steal your home field advantage. Reclaim your yard with Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
American Electrical is looking for bright minds and hard workers to help light up North Florida. This community continues to grow, and now you can grow your career with a company that will make sure you succeed through commitment. American Electrical even has its own academy dedicated to training select students in the electrical trade, and the best news, it's free of charge. Log on to American-Electrical.com to find out more. They're leading the way in electrical contractors on the First Coast. American-Electrical.com.
Time now for a medical recap. A health and wellness tip from Jaguars head team physician Dr. Kevin Kaplan.
Establishing a regular sleeping pattern is crucial for your well-being. This includes going to bed at roughly the same time every night and waking up around the same time every morning. You may even consider turning off all electronic devices an hour before bedtime. Ever wonder why you can't fall asleep after staring at your phone right before bed? Studies show that the light from your phone actually decreases melatonin production, therefore causing disruptions to your sleep throughout the night. Get some rest before the big game. Go Jags.
Mia here. You've heard me rave about my friends at Duck Duck Rooter, the #1 master septic contractor in all of Florida. But don't forget about Duck Duck Air Conditioning, the Jacksonville area's AC experts. The temperature is about to turn up a notch, folks. Should your AC not be working at your home or business, Duck Duck AC can help. Call 904-862-6769.
Matt, eating well can actually taste amazing with Awaken 180.
Exactly what Mike and I have been telling you, Hacker. It's all about discovering flavors that are as good for you as they taste.
I'm now down 70 pounds, and it's only been 3 months. No gym, no meds, just great food and fantastic coaching from Awaken 180.
Woo, baby! I told you so. Awaken 180 has changed the weight loss game. I saw Mike Dempsey drop his 25 pounds in a month, so I wanted in. You listeners know my results, but what we haven't shared is a ton of friends and family and listeners have jumped on board too. Their results? 100% success across the board.
Crazy to think there is a program that can work for everyone. But losing 70 pounds in 3 months proves that crazy is not so crazy. If you're listening and ready for fast results, expert coaching, and delicious food, Awaken 180 is the way to go. Head to awaken180weightloss.com and watch the weight melt off, starting with your very first week.
1010XL is presented by Barra & Barra, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Kept classy by First Coast Lighting and Fans. Upscale lighting, fans, and home decor.
On 1010XL.
To say today is jam-packed on Helmets and Heels would be an understatement. We are monitoring the Florida Gators at the College World Series in Omaha. Looks like they will be up 9-1 through 3, although there is a challenge at second base right now. Lauren, if you could give us a quick little primer.
I thought Cade Curlin was safe, and he just asked for the challenge. So if he's out, that means Kentucky gets out of the inning without any more damage. But if he's safe, then it's still 2 outs. And so, yeah, we'll keep you posted.
Yeah.
But so far, 9-1.
9-1 Florida.
I'm a happy
Again,
girl right now.
In the third inning, Lauren Brooks can take a deep breath. We will have LeRoy Butler, the Hall of Famer, joining us at 1 o'clock. But right now, we are pleased to be joined with John Scromolo, the athletic director for St. John's Country Day, formerly with Clay County, as he debunks, explains all the myths, so much of the information that's coming at us so fast when it comes to NIL in high schools in the state of Florida. Before we took that break, John, I asked you, comparing NIL in Georgia to NIL in Florida, knowing there are more private schools, there are more high schools in general in the state of Florida compared to the state of Georgia. I'm just curious if we really can compare apples to oranges, and is that the viewpoint right now of Florida athletic directors and the administration of the FHSAA?
I think the biggest concern in Florida is the open enrollment, right? So in Georgia, there are some transfer regulations that are still in play. I'm not sure as to what those intricacies are of those, but I do know it's not like Florida where you could, so right now in the state of Florida, you could play football for School A, you can play basketball for School B, and you can play baseball for School C.
How did we get here? How did we get here?
As a lifelong educator, being in education, being a public school kid, I've yet to have someone explain to me how that is academically beneficial.
No way.
Yeah.
Could you imagine having 3 different algebra teachers in 1 year?
No.
If you enrolled in. So, I'm all for choice. I do believe that every family, has different needs and there are different, factors, but it's pretty open, to say the least. So that's the big concern, is that people are worried about the bad actors that are going to, try to break the rules and do things they shouldn't do. So it's going to be important that the FHSAA comes out strong from the beginning and says, hey, here's the rules. They're cut and clear, and if you don't follow the rules, there's going to be a consequence.
And the policing of it.
Correct.
That's the other big part of this that I know the three of us during the break were saying. That's perhaps the biggest question, is how will the FHSAA ensure that it is indeed a transaction between a local business and the family of said player, not a transaction between a quote-unquote booster group or the school itself.
Sure. One of the things that's been concerning is, as the AD at St. John's, I have already had student athletes. Now, you had said that it's not done yet. I mean, and the FHSAA has said until the State Board of Education approves it on the 24th, which we all believe will happen, you cannot do it right now. I have student athletes at my school who are already getting text messages from I verified with the FHSAA. I passed it on, and the associate executive director said, John, that's a collective. Your kids, even when it's an approved, can't do that. There are these businesses out there that say, Mia, join Team NIL. What Team NIL is they will make you a code that says Mia 24, and unfortunately, all it is like merch, right? So it's merch that says, go for greatness, or, like little phrases like that. So you sign up for this, you pass it out to all your friends and family. It's not even your brand. It's just a generic athletic brand or whatever. So your poor grandma buys a $40 shirt, and you get what, $2.50?
And grandma's buying those shirts because it's her grandkids.
And that's the part for me that just is so disheartening of where this could go south.
Yeah, and I was, the day that this got announced that it was passed, I was actually out watching a Cubs game with a friend who coaches in town, a baseball team in town. He was getting calls, that day already, from people being kind of talking about, oh, this kid and this kid. So I feel like, just like college football, it could have the potential of getting messy. The interesting thing to me is when it came to college NIL, Florida was one of the first ones that kind of were leading the way of, here's what we want to do, NIL, name, image, likeness. but they were the 36th state for high school. Why do you think they've waited so long? Did they want a more clear path of how to do this, do you think?
That's a great question. I mean, my personal opinion is probably just, I would hope to believe that there are some leaders throughout the state that see the risk, that there is a legitimate risk of this. I mean, let's talk about some of the unintended consequences. I mean, you have families who might be, down on their luck and they see this as a way out. Well, then and maybe their student athletes unbelievably good. Well, they signed their life away on a contract that has a whole bunch of fine print that says when you get to college and if you get to the league, you owe us 10% of your contract.
Yep.
Do you think now they would
from Florida?
Do you think now they would sign it if you told them that up front?
Yeah,
right?
No
so
way.
like there's a lot of depth. Let's just switch the narrative real quick to the positive side of this, right? Because like I may come off as I'm not in favor of it. I think I'm just leery of it, but at the same time, look at like a Tim Tebow, right? And all the good that he's done with his platform and all the money that he would have made at Florida and even in
Nice High School.
Nice High School. I was a sophomore when he was a senior, and it was awesome going to Fleming Island High School, watching him play and the excitement and the energy. So there are kids that will benefit from this. I know there's like a lacrosse player in St. Johns County that had a pretty good, it's like $25,000, that she had to forfeit because it wasn't legal at the time. So there will be some students that benefit from it. I just hope that the adults can be the adults and say, you know what, we're going to make sure that we're keeping the funny business out of this as much as we can.
Now, because of the high schools, the boosters, collectives, that those words cannot be involved in this. The students can't use team logos from the school. It just has to be themselves, their name.
Yeah, so that's a part that I'm still looking for clarification on. I've heard my county AD group of friends that I talked to, the FHSAA has kind of said that's to be seen. I don't know if that's exactly in policy or not. I've seen conflicting information on that because the county ADs reached out and said we want to be totally out of it. But then there were some other groups that said, well, it benefits our school if they're wearing our jersey. Like, you know what I mean? Especially that. See, you can see where now it's getting sticky, right? So like if you're a school choice school, well, yeah, we want our jersey everywhere we can possibly get it. If you're a public school, you don't want someone representing your district that you don't know what they're going to do with it. So definitely a balancing act on how that is going to play out.
All right, let's switch it to baseball since you are a baseball guy. FSU has Daniel Cantu from Creekside, Connor Holtz from Creekside, Max Williams out of Clay High School. So they certainly understand that this area is rife with talent.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'll tell you what, it's I know all three of those guys back when I was still in the mix. I coached Max, when he was 8-9 years old. We duked it out. I would coach for the CBC Riverhawks Blue. So listen to this. You guys know local sports. Our team at CBC who played against Daniel Cantu was Dylan Simmons from Trinity, who just got drafted by the Reds, Hunter Barco, who was at Bowles and then to Florida, Dante Visconti, who was at Bartram and FAU and finished at Western Carolina, Mikey Rosario, who played for Miami, and now he's playing pro ball. Great group of kids. I mean, Northeast Florida's just always been such a baseball hotbed, and I think now on the national stage they're starting to see what we can do.
What do you think when it comes to, we're talking about open enrollment in Florida, the transfer portal? We were kind of talking about it a little bit in the break, so as much as you can get into, John, as we wrap up with you. With regards to some of these as a product of a D2 school in Flagler, some of these players who view, hey, I go to a D2 institution, I go to a lower quote-unquote Division I institution for 2 or 3 years, and I use that to parlay an opportunity at the Power 5, Power 4, whatever you want to call it, level. Is that just the way the world is headed? And could that actually be viewed as a positive as much as, yes, it does stink for the UNFs, the JUs, the Flaglers of the world that they wouldn't be able to retain the services of that player for the duration of their career?
So I look at that from two hats. I mean, from the baseball hat, here's what I'll tell any baseball player that's listening. They need players in professional baseball. They're going to find you. So even if you're
You did play professional baseball.
I did. I got drafted, and I think that it was one of those things, they will find you. So it's not, you don't have to go to Florida to get selected or anything like that.
Yeah, look at Daniel Murphy.
There you go.
Yeah. Not that JU's a lower level by any means.
Yeah, and I played with Jonathan, his brother, growing up here in Northeast Florida. So it's not the toughest thing on that end of it is for the coaching, for the athletic departments, putting my athletic director hat on. It's really hard, I feel, for Nick at UNF and JU, because when you're trying to build something great and your resources are constantly being taken away, it's hard to raise money doing that and those types of things. So I do think the landscape's not going back, unfortunately. It's just going to be interesting to see how people are able to be creative with the resources that they have.
One of the things you mentioned as we were watching this Florida game, is it still 9-1?
Kentucky just scored, so it's now 9-2. Kate Curlin, by the way, in the last half inning was safe, but then Florida struck out. So it is 9-2, Florida leading in the top of the fourth. Pierce Coppola still pitching.
You made the comment, though, about how these guys are coming up, and it's like steadily 95 average that you're seeing. And we've also seen this correlation. Daniel Murphy's talked about it a few times or probably a lot more than a few times on the drill, about the Tommy John surgery and the Tommy John injuries and how it's increasing so much. Do you think this velocity is a big part of that, or is it a combination of a lot of things?
No doubt. I think the technology in training and the human kinetics of athletics these days is unbelievable. I mean, these kids at a very young age are getting into training camps and weight rooms, and they have drive line throwing programs. So to answer your question, yes, that is a big part of it. Is what happens is the body's not, throwing a baseball is not a natural motion. So when you're doing all that training and then you're adding weight to it and those types of things on top of whether or not your pitch counts are being properly monitored. Here's the interesting part, though. The interesting part is professional baseball is not scared of Tommy John surgery anymore, which is really interesting.
I call it a rite of passage. It's kind of become like ACL tears, too.
I mean,
in soccer.
I would not be shocked if in the Major League draft this year they draft someone who can't pitch. Like we're going to draft
knowing full
them.
well that hey, it's going to take him 4 to 5 years anyways if he's an 18-year-old to make it through the minors, and that's on the low end, the conservative end.
Yep.
I mean, if you're not going to see him anyways for 5 years, who cares if a year and a half of it is spent rehabbing from Tommy John?
And they like it because we, as the pro team, we did their surgery, we monitored their rehab. So it's kind of crazy to think about that. You don't want anyone to get hurt, and then on top of that, you don't want to be like, oh, okay, you got hurt. We're just gonna do your surgery and move on.
I mean, I think a big indicator of that is Shohei Ohtani, because granted, he still deserved a lot of money by what he does offensively, but defensively, he still got money, knowing he just had to get a Tommy John surgery and wouldn't pitch for an entire season at least.
He made a few bucks.
Yeah, a little bit of money.
And he's still good at the plate, which is the good part when you have a guy that can play two ways, which is why the debate will roll on for some people about Jack Caglione and whether or not he should be able to pitch in the big leagues. After watching him the last few times out, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you never know. But I do doubt that. By the way, Pierce Coppola now has 2 on. Sully just had a meeting on the mound with him, but he will stay in the game. So it is still 9-2, Florida over Kentucky with 2 on.
We appreciate you stopping
Yes,
by.
thank you
Mr.
so much.
It's a ton of fun.
John Scromolo, again, the athletic director of St. John's Country Day. You can find him at Coach Scromolo on X if you're interested in that. And round of applause, RJ, not only for little Scromolo number 2 on the way, but also the Clay County Commissioner for Fleming Island.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you taking some time touring 1010 and as well as providing insight not only into NIL in Florida's high schools, but also baseball, which I know it's your favorite time of the year.
Always a passion.
Appreciate it, John. When we come back, we will have another special guest. Yes, we have 2 special in-studio guests for you on today's edition of Helmets and Heels. The Hall of Famer LeRoy Butler going to join us a little bit later in the program right here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's a Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday on Helmets and Heels.
This is 1010XL.
You're gonna love this.
More Jaguars, more Gators, and more Jacksonville. 1010XL. Jacksonville is listening.
Ready to drive away with a fortune? Join us at Best Bet St. Augustine for our Fairways to Fortune giveaway. Over $30,000 in prizes are up for grabs, including a top-of-the-line 6-seater golf cart. Join us July 27th at Best Bet St. Augustine for the big giveaway and hourly cash drawings. Come play and win big at Best Bet St. Augustine, located on State Road 207, seconds away from the I-95 exit. Visit bestbetjax.com for details. That's bestbetjax.com, and we'll see you in St. Augustine.
If you're getting engaged and want to spend way more than you should on a diamond, go ahead and shop the Big Chain Diamond Store. They love taking your money.
If you want the lowest price guaranteed, shop Beards Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
If the Florida heat is getting you down and you're sweating up a storm, fire up a phone call to Florida Home AC and order an AC tune-up. It's the best way to beat the heat and keep your AC unit working at peak performance. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for their tune-up special and make sure you're primed for the peak of that heat. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and just a phone call away at 777-4300. Order that tune-up today.
Attention veterans, if you have a VA loan, you need to listen to this, especially if your current rate is higher than 6.5%. Now is the time to take advantage of the federal government's VA Streamlined Refinance Program. With my friends at Loan Pronto, you can. Go to loanpronto.com. Prosser here, and Loan Pronto has fixed rate APRs in the 5s. You can drop your rate now. Lower your payment with no income documentation and no appraisal. Do it at loanpronto.com. Their all-digital platform makes it easy. They can even cover your closing costs. If you need cash now, Loan Pronto can get you up to 100% of your home value. You can pay off all your credit cards or other debt and save as much as $1,000 a month. Call Loan Pronto now at 904-999-1508 or get a 30-second rate quote at loanpronto.com. Ask about streamlined VA loans, no income doc, and no appraisal. Loan Pronto, 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On June 19, 2016, in the NBA Finals, the Cleveland Cavaliers win their first title, beating the defending champions, the Golden State Warriors, 93-89 in Game 7.
This is Hayes Carlyon for QC Kinetics. Are you not able to enjoy this summer as much as you want because of joint pain? Well, give my friends at QC Kinetics a call at 904-274-5522 for a free consultation. They're serving the Jacksonville area with locations in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra Beach. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. QC Kinetics advanced treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue so you can walk, run, hike, play golf, move again, pain-free. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation, 904-274-5522 in Mandarin and Ponte Vedra. That is QC Kinetics.
Your Jaguars game day, your way. Whether you want to see a division rival like the Titans, an NFC North opponent like the Packers, or a mix, deciding on your favorite matchups has never been easier with Bundle at the Bank.
Touchdown, Travis Etienne!
Get tickets to 3 or more games starting at just $58 per game. It's as easy as pick, pay, and play. But seats are selling fast, so visit jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000.
At Hodges Mazda, what Mazda moves you? Find out. Take advantage of 0% APR on the versatile lineup of 2024 Mazda crossover SUVs. Lauren Brooks here. Choose from the off-road ready 2024 Mazda CX-50, the stylish 2024 Mazda CX-30, or the tailored for you Mazda CX-5. With 0% APR for 36 months, you'll find your perfect CUV. The professional non-commissioned sales team always puts your best interests first, and you'll get 2 years free maintenance. Visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at hodgesmazda.com. See dealer for details. Terms and fees for qualified applicants expires July 1st, 2024.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Helmets and Heels is switched on by
First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Upscale Lighting, Fans, and Home Decor on 1010XL.
Mia O'Brien, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks with you. It is still 9-2 Florida over Kentucky, but Colby Shelton just hit a single, so Florida will hopefully continue to pour some runs in. All right, what is irking my friend Taylor Dahl today?
Now, Taylor's Tangent, served up by Chick-fil-A on 1010XL.
I know we've probably had too much baseball for the anti-baseball people that listen, but I'm sorry. I'm going to go on a little rant here about some...
A little tangent.
A little tangent here about some stuff that just dropped in the Major League Baseball world. The MLB announced that they'll be fully implementing the ABS, which is the Automatic Balls and Strikes Challenge System, to the AAA next week. If you don't know, they've been testing this throughout in Single A throughout this season, but they've been rotating it to where during the week it's one system, and during the weekend it's another system, comparing the automatic ball, the ABS, and then the ABS challenge. So the ABS is just full on the electronic system that dictates whether it's a ball or a strike, and then the ABS challenge system, they have that system going, but there's still an umpire calling balls and strikes. And then the teams get a certain amount of challenges that they can, for balls or strikes called wrong that they believe, and then they'll review those with the system and come back and change the call if they need to. So from all of the findings, it seems like the challenge system has worked the best, and coaches and players have seemed to like it better than the full-on automated ABS system throughout the entire game. So they're moving this to the AAA. Usually that means if you're starting to fully implement it in the AAA, you will probably see it in Major League Baseball within the next few years. A lot of times they'll try these things out in spring training or in the postseason rather than just throwing it into a full season of baseball right away. But I would expect us to start to see this a little bit, and I feel like it's time. I tweeted this yesterday. I think it's time for robot umpires because it's just gotten bad. And I know the old school people are going to say, no, don't change the game too much. Keep the umpires in there. We like the kind of, the errors of the human eye sometimes. It makes the game what it is, and I get that. But I think now we're in a time where we have too many slow-mo replay 4D angles. You can see everything you want to see, and it's not really fair to the umpires anymore either because we can call them out on every single mistake they make. We're not asking for them to be perfect, but for example, there's this a Twitter. It's called Umpire Scorecards. Follow it if you don't. It's fantastic if you're a baseball fan because they go through and they grade the umpires after each performance. And a couple days ago, there was a Cubs-Giants game. 27 missed calls on this umpire scorecard.
That was the new high.
Insane. Yeah, set a new record. But if you scroll through, they have plenty where it's like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 missed calls. That's too many. And especially in moments when you're dictating an entire game. You obviously know there's balls and strikes, and we talk about how in baseball every ball matters, every strike matters, and every hit, every fly ball, every single moment, and that's why baseball has been made to this perfection of what it is. But at some point when you are fully determining wins and losses for teams because you can't call a ball or strike, there's an issue. And strikeouts have progressively grown throughout the year. Throughout the years, it's over at 42,000 strikeouts a season, and I know there's probably other things that are factoring into that, but you can't start to build discipline for players if every single game their strike zone's different because the umpire's different. And I saw last year the strike zone was deliberately lowered at the top to reduce the number of swings and misses on high fastballs, and it kind of slapped him in the face because the adjustment ended up with the rise in walks rather than a rise in strikeouts. So they try to fix these things, and I'm like, just leave it alone. This is what the strike zone is, and now you have a way to challenge it at least if it's a ball or strike that you feel like is significantly impacting your game.
I like it. If I was doing a Taylor's Tangent today, mine would have been the fact that Willie Mae Hayes, when he came up for the vote for the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Hall of Fame, they only voted 95%.
Oh, for Willie Mays.
Should have been 100%.
Is that why Mike Dempsey had on a Mariano Rivera jersey today? Because he had to remind everyone he was the only unanimous guy to ever go. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, probably. Because that's insane. And I just don't understand how there's a guy who was a 24-time All-Star, 12 6-time Gold Glove winner. Everyone who ever watched baseball back then, and obviously we weren't alive, but it doesn't matter. We all know, Willie Mays should have been 100% unanimously voted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. My dad's favorite player of all time, by the way.
He did everything. He's one of those players and you do not see that type of player who can succeed at every single level, like hard hit balls or just on base percentage, the way he fielded things, the way he could throw from center, from the field to home plate. Everything is when you think about the best of any category to do it, he's there somewhere.
You got that right. When we come back, LeRoy Butler, Pro Football Hall of Famer, will join us here in studio. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Helmets and Heels, Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday.
Did you hear that?
Hear what? This isn't real. What is real? How do you define real?
1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The coolest thing going on right now is the summer fan sale with 3 ways to save at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Browse their huge selection of high-quality fans to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off summer pricing on all fans. Visit their showroom near the avenues while inventory is still available and discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
Hello, Jacksonville. If you are looking to grow your career, Chick-fil-A restaurants are hiring and looking for folks to join their teams right now. Chick-fil-A Jacksonville area restaurants are offering flexible hours, scholarship opportunities, and leadership development, to name just a few. You can find a friendly work environment with competitive pay and have fun at work with opportunities to serve your community. With locations all around Jacksonville, apply online or in person today at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O. If you want high quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. WaterBoyJAX.com.
Certainly facing challenging economic times. I can't speak for all of us, but for me, comforting to know my money is in good hands with ITP Partners. Ticket here for ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. I'll admit it, I don't understand a ton about the economy. Higher interest rates, 401ks. What I do know is I move closer to retirement. I continue to watch my money grow. Thanks to Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, and Reed Wingate. Get in the game, guys. ITP Partners, always there to help. For more info, Chris at ITPPartners.com or call 904-312-9751.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. Jags quarterback Trevor Lawrence has a backing not only from the front office after his massive contract extension, but most importantly, Lawrence is backed by his teammates. Jags legend Fred Taylor spoke on what the locker room is saying about Lawrence's record-breaking deal.
Well, they're excited for Trevor. No, they're definitely excited for Trevor. Now they want to go and win. At the very end of the day, I believe Trevor's 20-30 overall as a record. And when it's this time, they're saying, okay, well, we still have potential. You look at what he did the year before last year. You say, okay, this kid, he has something.
The Panthers mounted a comeback but fell short of raising the Stanley Cup in front of a home crowd last night after the Oilers won 5-3. The Panthers are still one win away from becoming Stanley Cup champions and look to regroup and improve on special teams before Friday's game in Edmonton in order to achieve that long-awaited goal. It's 88 degrees at 1 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Light up your lunch with Helmets and Heels.
Presented by First Coast Lighting and Fans.
On 1010XL.
Mia O'Brien, Taylor Dahl, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks, and we do have a very special guest, a Super Bowl champion in studio with us and a Pro Football Hall of Famer. LeRoy Butler, also a king. You are a king.
King
right.
LeRoy Butler.
That is
Tell
the
him,
name
Lauren.
LeRoy means king in French.
It sounds so much better when you say it than me. I don't want to be narcissist.
Oh,
but
very, very true.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love this show.
Well, thank you. We are so excited to have you here.
Put this platinum show together.
Our GM, Steve Griffin, did.
So it's been around, LeRoy, because, of course, you're used to hanging out with the boys at prime time from 12 to 3. Now they're
this
on
one
2 to
smells
4.
better, too.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, we try. I tried out a new lotion today. But what Helmets and Heels was it was just Tuesday nights. And now we're Monday to Friday, 12 to 2.
Yeah, we started an all-female show back in August of 2014. Oh, round of applause.
A round of applause, RJ.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, LeRoy is a radio guy through and through, so
yeah.
he's going to be calling for some signals, RJ, back there in producer row. So he knows what good radio sounds
Wait a
like.
minute, is the producer a young lady?
No, RJ, he's hanging out back there.
We
Come
should-
on.
I know, I'm just going along with it. We should give him another job. A female producer.
Okay.
No,
He's
we
like,
love
don't
our-
fire him.
First of all, we love our RJ. Second of all,
I
we don't
know.
have any female producers. That's the problem.
Hey, maybe we need more. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so inventor of the Lambeau Leap,
Yes.
4-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowler, like I mentioned, Super Bowl champion. But something tells me you're most proud of high school, Florida State, all that stuff growing up.
You're right on with that because I think most of the kids or podcasters, all the people, they just see the accolades. They don't really know how you grew up. And once you hear my story, it is, some of it you think it's not real because what I had to go through. But, being a special ed kid, a special education, special needs department, my teachers were everything to me. I remember my mom used to say that when you get to school, that God made teachers the smartest people in the world because they're gonna be the ones for 8 hours teach you stuff you're gonna need to survive and understand being in extreme poverty. That's why working with changing homelessness, I'm the perfect ambassador because of what I had to go through. But to your point, my coach at Fort Caroline Junior High, Hammond Gracie, he was part of my Hall of Fame induction speech. And I just appreciated him having an African American like me that would pick me up and drive me from Arlington to the Blodgett homes, and he wasn't scared or nothing. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you in there, man. It's okay." But those are the times I think about the most. And then going to a school like Lee, which is now Riverside, because back then, people that looked like you three amazing young lady and me wouldn't be on a radio show because they wouldn't give women an opportunity, especially an African American. So my mom said, well, I got some. Let me go back real quick. I know it's a long answer, but
No,
it's
you're
the
good.
context to it. I'm leaving Fort Caroline. I'm supposed to go to Terry Parker.
Right. That's what I thought. You
Yes.
were originally districted
Yes.
to Terry Parker.
And my role model was Wayne Gallman, still is to this day, because he was like the guy, the top running back at Terry Parker, but he was a nice guy. Because most guys, when they have that kind of, they're a little narcissistic and kind of arrogant. It's me, me, me. He was so great. So I'm going through practice with them, and my mom gets a letter and said, wait, you got to go to Robert E. Lee High School on the west side. I said, wait a minute, how am I going to get there? Because I know how the buses got here, and she explained it to me. And she said, well, you're going to Robert E. Lee, but it's not about the name on the building. It's about the name on the back of the jersey that enters the building. So when I met Coach Corky Rogers, it changed my life because he did something that really changed me. Because he said, don't be a statistic. He said, come to Lee. We're the top football program. And I got emotional because no one's never sat me down and told me about how I could use football to get out of the inner city and the Blodgett home. So it does mean more to me than all of these accolades is where I came from. And I was a mama's boy. I have 6 daughters. So it means a lot, not only to be on your show, but just to let the people know who I am as a person. It was from those ages.
It's why, I just said to Ken, our sales director, we appreciate
Ken's the man.
you, LeRoy. Absolutely. We love Ken and we love you because you always make time for us on 1010. And I think a big reason for that is because you love Jacksonville. That's part of why you're involved with the Changing Homelessness 50th anniversary, which we'll get to here in just a second. But one other important detail,
wait, I saw you at Tony's tournament.
Yeah, and you told me you're going to be here for my birthday in October. We got that coming, too.
That's right. And the security was like, wait. I said, oh, no, that's my sister. Back up.
That's what I told Ken when we got the email yesterday. LeRoy's coming to hang out in studio. I was like, man, I didn't think I'd see him till October for the Jags-Packers game when we have him in studio.
But I apologize.
No, you're good. So we'll talk about Changing Homelessness and the 50th anniversary, what you're doing in just a second. But I think another important part of your story that I don't think people realize, even though you've mentioned it multiple times, you didn't walk until you were how old?
See, the thing about it was we had the children's hospital called Hope Haven. And that's why when I see Tom Hanks, I always tell him, I was Forrest Gump before you.
What does he say? To then winning a Super Bowl, four Pro Bowls, Hall of Famer.
And both of us were mama's boys. He loved his mama. But when you're a kid, you think you can run and jump like everybody else. They tried the corrective white shoes that everybody wear. Didn't work. They tried some other kind of braces that go inside your shoe. Didn't work. Then they said, Miss Butler, we got to actually set his feet and put him in these casts. And just hopefully after 8 weeks, his feet will be straight. And that went on like 5, 6. And then if you go anywhere like the mall, which I wasn't because of poverty, but they're just talking, you got to use a wheelchair. And then if you go to school, you may need crutches. And it was but every single day, I told my grandmother, and I love grandparents because mainly it's free babysitting.
That's right.
I love them. And she said, God gave everybody a talent. I said, Grandma, what's my talent? Because I told her I wanted to play in the NFL. I really did. And she was like, your talent is you can ignore negative stuff. So when the kids bullied me for wearing hand-me-downs or, not being able to run and jump, I stayed right across the street from the Jefferson Street pool, and it's 100 degrees, but I couldn't go to the pool because my feet weren't working properly. But I used to wave at the other kids. Nothing bothered me. Nothing negative bothered me. And I look back on those days because I'm doing my documentary with Mia Knows. She's actually doing some voiceover work in it. She don't know it yet. But those are the times when you sit back and think about being in poverty. And I went to my cousin's house real quick, And they had a bunk bed. I never seen a bunk bed before. I wanted to get on the top, but I knew with my braces it ain't happening. But one of my heroes is my sister Vicky. She said, "I'll get you up there." But you do know they have ladders, right? I was like, no, because I didn't see a ladder or anything. It goes on the side of the bed. So I was able to get up there. That was like winning the Super Bowl.
Oh.
Who knew that would be my first leap?
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
So, LeRoy, when you're talking about, because you mentioned Corky Rogers, which obviously is
Love
a very familiar name around these parts.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Corky. Bobby Bowden, after that at Florida State. When you talk about just like your path and how much these coaches had influenced you throughout your life, but a lot of this is on you too. A lot of hard work in this, and like you said, ignoring the negative things, which is hard to do. Was there a point though for you in high school or college where you're like, "Yep, the NFL is happening for me"?
I told RJ we was gonna make history. It's the first time I've been on a show, and it's been 3 great questions. Dead serious. Because I know when you do interviews, you don't really know what to ask people, but the reason why those questions are platinum because they had nothing to do with Super Bowl and Hall of Fame. That stuff people can Google it. But what you can't Google is Miss Gordon, who was my favorite teacher in algebra. And I said to myself, if she can teach me algebra, she's brilliant. I have no idea. But she came to me one day and she said, "You're a Proposition 48. I didn't know what it meant because I was All-American. I was a consensus All-American. Matter of fact, I was one of 33 players in the state of Florida in 100 years to make the All-Century team. So I'm assuming it would work out, but I was, dyslexic, didn't read up to a certain level, and she said that you can still go to college though. I said, how? And she explained the rule to me, and because I got letters from all these universities, even the Gators.
Don't say it like that.
Yeah, have
As
to throw a
Lauren's
Gators
wearing
joke.
her orange and watching Gator baseball right now.
Well, I got a Bears joke coming too.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we'll wait for that.
Good.
We'll
By
wait
the way,
for that.
Florida did give up a
Yeah.
2-run home run, so it's now 9-4. So it's getting a little more stressful for Florida, but keep going, LeRoy.
They'll be fine, especially aluminum bags. You never know. Ask
Yeah,
Florida
that's the
State.
problem. We're ahead.
I know you feel bad, but I remember he said, "Miss Butler, we want to give him a scholarship." She said, "I heard he was a Prop 48, can't go to school his freshman year," and he said, "Yes, ma'am, but we can still offer him, but he can't play his freshman year." And I thought God was talking to me when I called Coach Bowden on a payphone, and some millennials like,
Right.
"Yeah, payphone,
Yeah,
yes.
to put a quarter in.
Put a quarter in. And if you put 2 dimes and a nickel in, it's going to keep that nickel.
That's right.
2 dimes come back. And then you have anxiety because the door may open, but whatever. But Superman made it work. So I made it work. So he said, "I got to make a home visit. More anxiety. If he sees where I live, he ain't going to give me a scholarship." But Coach Bowden, not only did he come, I said, "Coach, I have to meet you at the gas station because there's a lot of violence." And he said, "No problem." I was on a bike, a real bicycle, though, not like a motorcycle, because kids get cars now at 15.
Yeah, you were pedaling.
Yes, exactly. So they came down in a convoy of cars. We go down, and he told my mom he was going to give me a scholarship. It changed my life. Because had he not done that, I don't know what I would have done, because it was plan A to make it to the NFL, but I got to go to college first. So Coach Bobby Bowden, I'm sure he has tons of players he recruited, but for some reason he had one home visit, and he chose me. And I wasn't even eligible. We had other guys who was going to play a freshman. One of them was one of my best friends, Ron Lewis, from Raines High School, another rival. All these guys were going to play, but he chose to come see me. And I asked him, I said, "Coach, why did you choose me?" He said, "I read your bio. And boy, I like the way you put in there. You were saved." Because he's a man of faith.
Of course.
He read a lot of bios from kids. I put in that I was saved. That I did get baptized 3 times. Well, 2 were I chickened out. The 3rd time I got baptized. I just put that story in my bio, and that connected us. And he gave me an opportunity to come to Florida State.
I like the Bowden accent that
Yeah,
you
that
did
was
there,
good.
too.
Oh,
That was really good. Speaking of aluminum bats, Brody Donay, second home run of the day. Earlier he had the grand slam. So
boy.
Florida just got another run, so it is now 10-4.
You feel better?
A little bit, but I'm on. No, not really.
She'll
'cause
be
I'm-
nervous.
You're
I'm
going to be
on
feeling
edge.
better this afternoon, right after Florida State plays.
Yeah.
Even if Florida wins, they have to play again tonight. So my nerves are just shot for
I
today.
know.
But yeah, Florida State gets another crack at Tennessee, which is good news in baseball. All right, so
Yes.
let's get it to the reason that you're here, the 50th anniversary celebration of
Yes.
changing homelessness. It is tomorrow night. How did you, as far as the Home for All sneaker ball is tomorrow night, how did you get involved with changing homelessness?
I mean, it's just a fantastic match when you're an ambassador of something you had to live through. I knew people paycheck to paycheck for no fault of their own, and next thing you know, you're out. And what do? There's no plan A, B, or C. Organizations like this are the ones that need the billions of dollars to do what they want to do. But sometimes you got to have a grassroots effort. Because there may be a young man in the military that has to reach out for supplies. Where do you go? And for some people that ride around and say, I see homeless people, did you do your part? So we try to do two things. Two things can be true. You can have an amazing organization like Changing Homelessness, but you can also have fun. So we're going to have a sneaker ball, and my wife, Genesis, she always talk about you can wear a dress and tennis shoes.
That's right.
And I was like, okay. And then Joanna, another good friend of mine, she's like, yes, we want to have like shoe cam. So we got the best sneaker. Now, I would win, but I'm not qualified.
Okay.
Or I'm not out of it.
Why would you win?
You're not allowed to be in the running.
sneaker
Yes.
game.
But I know some people, some sneaker heads. And we have a few tickets left. Too.
Okay.
Okay.
It's almost sold out. But just an amazing event because we like to help people. And this is also what my grandparents said. Helping people you don't know, those are the real heroes. Anybody can help people you know.
Right.
But when somebody is praying that please make a donation to help me, Changing Homelessness is there to help. We have to help them survive because I don't know what's going to happen in the future. You never know. They may criminalize homelessness and shelters and things of that nature. But until that even comes up, we have people like Miss G that really comes out in the community to see what is needed. And I'm just so fortunate to be a part of it.
So that is tomorrow, Thursday, June 20th, 6 to 10 p.m. at the Jesse, that's downtown.
Yes.
The
right?
Jesse Ball
Yes.
DuPont
Yep.
Center.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and the tickets are still available.
Yeah, only a few, so hurry.
Yeah,
Only a
Home for
few.
All sneakerball.net, and sneaker is spelled SNKR. So Home for
Nice.
All SNKR ball.net
So
to
people in
get
Florida
tickets.
can't spell. Man, somebody lied to me.
Changing Homelessness, though, LeRoy, is a national foundation. So even if people can't attend tomorrow's sneaker ball, let them know how they can get involved, how they can make a difference in the life of the life or lives of people they don't know.
Yeah, changinghomelessness.org. Even if you go to the Facebook page, you'll see if you can't make it, that's a great point. If you can't make it, you can always donate. You can always sponsor something. And I just appreciate Josh Allen, that's my brother. Although the Packers are going to beat them, don't tell Doug Peterson 'cause we played together.
I did tell him you said hi, and he's like, yeah, I know, I saw him yesterday. I'm like, I know, I saw him this morning. He wanted me to tell you again.
He's amazing. Him and Tony Baselli and a lot of the Jaguars, we want to thank them because they've really reached out and going to do more things for homelessness, specifically changing homelessness, because they're the grassroots organization that can really help people. So, and I really want to thank you guys. This means a lot to me. I'm very emotional because you don't see this very often. So, where you can talk sports, life with people you enjoy doing it with. So it means a lot.
We appreciate you. I love this cause, this foundation, and I know we've talked a little bit about the ball. There's other ways to help if you want to donate, but I have to talk about it. When you walked in, I mentioned I'm a Bears fan, and you said you knew something smelled
Now's
in here.
the fun part of the show. From this
Yes,
emotional
I thought I
statement from
stepped in
LeRoy
something,
as
you
he's
know?
talking about how emotional he is to be with us, and Taylor goes, okay, now we're going to talk football.
Did you know that when you were doing that first Lambeau Leap, that you would break my heart with that for years and years and years?
I really didn't. It was all spontaneous. And if you know me, I'm kind of a spontaneous guy, and I love people. So I thought the best celebration, I still say the best celebration, if you can score or whatever, and you can thank the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Without the fans, there is no sports. I mean, you can't even do the chomp. I think that's what y'all call it.
That's correct.
Without the fans.
I can show you what it looks like if you
Ask
like.
them fans. You ask one of my best friends, Emmett Smith, when he scores at that stadium, when he sees that, they go crazy. So when you're in Lambeau, when the players score and you do the leap, you got 90,000 people going crazy.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yes.
I've seen it a few
So you're
times.
loving, like, on Sunday, I don't know if you watched the U.S. Open, but when Bryson DeChambeau,
Yes.
when he said, like,
Yes.
I want to share this trophy
Yes.
with you all, and some people laughed, including myself, like, oh, boy, here he goes, he's going to parade it.
Yes.
And then he literally went into the crowd with the trophy. For
I
you,
love-
that is the epitome of sports.
Yes, because this guy's behind the grandstand, chips out into the bunker. It's my opinion, because you know social media. That's probably one of the clutch shots of all time. With everything on the line.
You think the one from beyond the grandstands to the bunker, not even from the bunker to the green.
Yeah, because that can go wrong.
Yeah.
But, and, the crowd's behind him, but if he hits that way right, you can't even get on the green to do it. That was clutch, and we need to acknowledge that. And the guy's in great shape mentally. He's had to go through a lot. He won. It was during COVID. No one's there.
Right.
So for him to make that shot and just kind of him and Payne have a connection, I mean, God is good. But I love the crowd that embrace guys at that level. And, I'm a Laker fan, but even Boston getting the trophy and beating the Lakers because we were tied with them, I just loved it. Now, I don't like the fans jumping on red lights and flipping cars. I mean, I don't like that part of it, but I love the fan base when they win a championship.
Before we let you go, I want to tie this to the Jaguars a little bit.
Yeah.
And you playing for the Packers, obviously. Packers-Bears, one of the oldest, if not the oldest rivalries in football.
Yes, the
and
oldest,
so
yeah.
we're talking about the Jags and recently how the Texans coming off the season where they kind of surprised everyone. C.J. Stroud's been a little chirpy and kind of running his mouth a little bit, but in a good way, in a confident way. And some people here are getting frustrated, but for me, I'm like, this is fun. This is like what adds to rivalries when you have those players that just adds that extra level of like, now we're playing this guy and we really have to beat them.
No question, because people want to focus on Trevor Lawrence's contract, but what you should focus on is that he's going to be here to develop for the next 5 years. The money that's not it, the issue. The issue is the teams who are not going to win in the future have not invested in quarterbacks. So they wait to the last minute to do it. But this is a team led by Josh and Trevor, ETN. They're going to compete, especially in the South.
Oh, yeah.
You got to win that division. But you got to make sure the quarterback is secure. And Doug Peterson, I'm going to tell you something, one of my best friends, because how can you win a Super Bowl in Philly and they don't want you? So the owner of the Jaguars, shout out to him to say, listen, with that kind of pedigree, and he's a quarterback, coach, he played quarterback. I see the Jags being a team, run the football, tough defense, can win the South. 'Cause I see people picking the Colts for whatever reason. I'm like,
what did I miss?
You're spending time up there in Wisconsin a little too
Yeah,
much in
that's
the
a little too
Midwest,
close,
man. Come
but-
on now.
So I think the Jazz they got to get back on track. And real quick, they are the number one. People may not know this. They're the number one branded team globally because they play out of the country more than anybody. So people like, are they going to move out of Jacksonville? I say no. They've got a stadium like $2 billion coming.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's fake. That's AI.
Up there in
No,
Wisconsin,
it's
God.
True. They got a stadium. Maybe it'll make it smaller too.
Let's end with that before we let you plug all the exciting stuff you have coming up, because the Gator Bowl means a lot to you, LeRoy.
Thanks.
What does that mean to you that we are on the verge, June 25th, that it will be proposed to the city council and then, of course, the NFL owners in October, that stadium is going to be a state-of-the-art top 5, top 10 stadium in the world?
I remember Bud Ballou, Georgia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I need I'm sorry when it comes to that. Yes, thank you.
But really, Raines Lee High School playing in the Gator Bowl is amazing. I remember the statute of limitations run out. USFL, the Jacksonville team, Lindy Infante would let kids in for free. And he's my, rest in peace, he ended up being my coach in Green Bay. That stadium is...
You were one of those kids.
Yes.
That got in for free.
Yeah. Just come on in. And just stand here and just look like you belong. They won't bother you. So shout out to the police. They were great. But the Georgia-Florida game back then growing up was the best game. People say Ohio State, Michigan. No. Georgia, Florida is the biggest rivalry ever in Jackson. Cause I guess it's called a neutral site. But tailgating, cocktails, it's the biggest. It was the biggest. So I love to see it's a historical site. That's awesome.
I love that. All right, a reminder, the Home for All Sneaker Ball, the inaugural fundraiser for changing homelessness, is tomorrow night at the Jesse Ball DuPont Center from 6 to 10. It raises awareness and funds for Duval, Clay, and Nassau counties. Get your tickets at homeforallsneakerball.net, sneaker spelled SNKR. And also your third annual Legends Football and Cheer Camp is this Saturday at the Police Athletic League at Ed Austin Park. They're on Monument Road, ages 7 to 17. Super excited about that. JacksPalSports.org if people want to sign up for that.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this. This is like the third year we've had it, and it's just so much fun. And last year, Tony was down there, and it's just so much fun to see kids. We feed them, give them a shirt, teach them all kind of great things. Then we also talk about mental health, and we also talk about how the young ladies, we do cheering for them and just teach them to be good role models. And this is a good way to end this, because every summer we have so much crime with little kids. And I tell them the summer has started. Be safe, don't hurt yourself or somebody else, and never, never, never break the law. And you can always come for free here. We'll all pay for everything. All we ask you to be is be like I told my mom and my grandparents. My favorite uncle was Charles Durham Vaughn, and he used to say, as long as you stay out of trouble, God gives you what you want. That's it. Because every summer, if you wilding out, I'm serious, man, you gotta be safe. Be safe.
I like
can
that.
Never
well
say this,
said.
but I hope Florida wins.
Thank you.
Yeah,
It
because
is
you got
now-
my daughter's name, and I gotta be nice.
That's right. It's now 11-4, 2
Yes.
on, 2 out for Florida over Kentucky in the elimination game in the College World Series. LeRoy, thank you so much. I say that from all of us here at 1010XL, but I think for everyone from the city of Jacksonville who loves you. So thank you.
People were trying to call in to talk to you. They always want to call in. As soon as we bring you on the air, they're like, I need to call in, I need to text in. So if you have a message for LeRoy, you can leave at 641-1010.
Well, my message to them is keep listening.
There we go.
Yes.
We
'cause
love
y'all
that.
deserve to get paid way more.
Oh, and we like that too. Keep listening. LeRoy is out, but we will be with you for the duration of the next 35 minutes or so. This is Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday on Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels. This hour is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers. After the workday, Rick Ballou goes to work.
Because you see him really working it there. That was something special.
With more Jags and the stories that are buzzing. Go into the night with Rick Ballou. Then it's Hacker After Dark. Evenings on 1010XL.
Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is the sports medicine leader in Northeast Florida. We're proud to be the official sports medicine provider for your hometown teams, including the Jaguars, Sharks, Axemen, and the Jumbo Shrimp. We have the most cutting-edge resources for sports medicine care, including Active Armor casting, Alter-G anti-gravity treadmills, and highly trained physicians and athletic trainers. JOI is truly where the pros go, and so should you.
Hey, David here with Royal Pest Services. Men, are you struggling in the bedroom? Do spiders and roaches have you scared? Visit RoyalPestServices.com and let us help you get that man card back. Guaranteed results on our first visit.
Did you know Duck Duck Rooter is the area's go-to plumber? A 5-star Google-rated company, Duck Duck Rooter can take care of all of your plumbing repairs and upgrades. Need to switch from septic over to city sewer? Call the Duck. How about water heater repairs and replacement? You're just a duck away, or call away, for Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing and Septic Services.
When you're stuck, call the duck. Now 904-862-6769.
Hacker here coming in hot. I'm so freaking stoked right now I could do cartwheels. Well, maybe not cartwheels yet, but soon, after already shedding a jaw-dropping 70 pounds thanks to the miracle workers at Awaken 180. My doc just told me to forget the scalpel. I was scheduled this month for a procedure for a vein in my leg, but thanks to dropping the 70 pounds, I no longer needed it. He was impressed, to say the least. He hasn't ever seen a transformation like I'm having with Awaken 180 weight loss. In reality, all that extra weight was dragging me down. Not just figuratively, but literally. The benefits of losing it have been nothing short of amazing. Yes, a weight loss program that works can actually be done. And most importantly, done easily. If weight's holding you back and you don't think there's a plan you can do, let me tell you, there is. 70 pounds in 3 months, guys. It's doable. So do it online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we want it, we got to bring it.
My thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hayes Blog on 1010XL.com.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
New and pre-owned firearms are in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimber, Smith & Wesson, 6 Hour, Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Only at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just one visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just one visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
There's a long drive way back in center field, way back, it is. Willie Mays just brought this crowd to its feet with a catch, which must have been an optical illusion to a lot of people.
You're listening to Helmets and Heels.
Illuminated by
First Coast Lighting and Fans.
On 1010XL.
You just heard Willie Mays and the catch that was from 1954 in the World Series when the Giants won. I love going back and watching old highlights of lots of different sports, but especially it's cool when a highlight like that comes back into play. And for people who were watching that Florida Clemson marathon game, Cam Canarella had a catch that was very reminiscent of that Willie Mays catch. And so I feel like the younger generation got to be pulled in. I say younger generation. Pretty much anybody born under 50 probably didn't get to watch Willie Mays play live. And so I think that part is super cool. Quick update, Florida pouring it on Kentucky. It is the bottom of the 5th, and now Florida has a 14-4 lead. So the bats continue to stay hot. And again, if Florida wins this game, Florida will face Texas A&M. If Florida can beat Texas A&M twice, Florida can get to the College World Series final series. And over as far as the other side of the bracket, Florida State has to beat Tennessee twice in order to make it. And that game first pitches at 3 o'clock today.
And that's a 3 o'clock game. But let's say Florida State does beat Tennessee. What time are they playing that game at? I would
think that's the
assume
next day.
tomorrow. They
Yeah.
would have to make it tomorrow.
I think that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the times tomorrow are the same as like the 3 and 7 or 2 and 7. I think.
But then that would
2 and 7 tomorrow.
We are approaching though. I don't want to say doomsday because it's the ideal scenario. If Florida beats A&M
Twice.
tonight, so they would have to play them again tomorrow.
Correct.
And Florida State would have to play Tennessee again tomorrow.
Yeah, today and tomorrow. Yeah.
And then if
and
they
then
were
they
to
could
win-
face each other in the College World Series championship series, which is crazy to think that that's a possibility considering where Florida started this regular season, but also where both teams started as far as losing game one. It is such a battle in the College World Series.
Well, and where
when you
Florida
lose
State
that.
was 2 years ago too. Like for
Also
them, we
true.
talk about Florida's season a lot, but just like what Link's done in just 2 years.
Right,
is
and Mike Martin, 11, passing away earlier this year. If Florida
Mhm.
State were to actually win the College World Series for the first time ever, just an incredible legacy that he already left, and then to have that on the heels of his passing. So I wanted to bring up Willie Mays since he did pass away yesterday at the age of 93. And I don't know if y'all realize this. So he grew up playing at the Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. 76 years ago, he led that team, the Black Barons, to the 1948 Negro League World Series when he was 17, okay? So Major League Baseball is bringing a game to that field for the first time ever tomorrow night with the Giants and the Cardinals. Willie Mays was planning on going to the game alongside his son and some other people like Dusty Baker and Barry Bonds and all these people. And just on Monday, he put out a statement through the Giants saying, "I'm sorry, I won't be able to make it." And then we lost him yesterday. Like, it's just so sad that it was like he was so close in order to getting to see his Negro Field celebrated. And so it just a sad day, I feel like, for the baseball community, but certainly a great life that Willie Mays led.
Yeah, I was watching the Yankee game last night, and Bob Costas was on the call,
Mhm.
and he quite frankly, he said it multiple times. He's like, I apologize, folks, but I just really can't focus on this game right now because I can't help but think of the enormity of losing one of, if not the greatest player of the 20th century, who was set to be honored in 2 days' time for an event that's never been seen before and was something that he was building towards his whole life. So it's unfortunate, but 93 great years. I mean, that's the other side of the coin. Is there is no question the indelible mark that Willie Mays left on the game of baseball, an entire, if not multiple generations. And the fact that he got 93 years to impact is, it was incredible what he was able to do at that time.
Yeah, the Say Hey Kid finished his career with 660 home runs. That was, at the time he retired, third all-time. 3,283 hits, 2 NL MVP awards, and a record-tying 24 All-Star Game appearances. Taylor, what made me so sad is when you read his statement that the Giants posted, this is the final sentence. All these years, this is about the game at Rickwood Field. All these years, and it is still here. So am I. How about that?
Ugh,
And it was just a couple days later, or a day later from that. And so I think tomorrow night, if you're just like even a casual baseball fan, tune into the Giants-Cardinals game because there's going to be so much history involved as far as the Negro baseball leagues.
History, emotion, everything, and that's what like baseball, America's pastime, and these are the moments that you really get to kind of take a look at why it's called that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Barry Bonds, his godfather was Willie Mays, for people who don't know. And then here are some other guys that are going to be there tomorrow night. Reggie Jackson, Derek Jeter, and David Ortiz. So all pretty good names, like I mentioned already, Dusty Baker as well, and his son, Willie Mays' son as well. All right, we've got one segment to go, and you know what we've got to do right now?
Ooh, we have a giveaway?
That's right, we do have a giveaway. What are we giving away, Taylor?
We got lunch with the ladies going on, so a gift card for lunch for 2 to Chick-fil-A. So if you want to get some free lunch on the ladies, then call 904-641-1010. What caller number, Lauren?
Let's go number 1.
Caller 1 today.
641-1010, like Taylor said, we've got one segment to go here on Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's a Helmets and Heels Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
This is Helmets and Heels.
This hour is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Jags. Subscribe to the 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel. One-on-one interviews with players, practice footage, podcasts, and more. If you're looking for the best Big Cat coverage around, look no further. 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
Spring has sprung. What a great time to get your house ready forever. Stop paying for exterior paint that doesn't protect your home or business. Rhino Shield's beautiful durable coating. Never chip, crack, or peel. By the way, they back it up with a 25-year warranty. No mold, no mildew, no algae, all while saving you thousands compared to the cost of repainting it. Right now, 0% financing, up to 25% off. Never been easier to paint your home with Rhino Shield. Book your free estimate today at rhinoshieldjacks.com.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Our returning champion, a basketball court sweat mopper from Jacksonville, Florida, meet Lewis Cramp.
Great to be back, Merv.
There's only one category left on the board, Lewis. People you can trust to repair your air conditioner. Your 10 seconds starts now.
Well, I'm pretty handy with tools around. Right, so my Uncle Steve used to fix transmissions, so maybe he could... Okay, sorry. I guess just call the guys at Bueller?
That's right, Lewis. The highly trained technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing have the tools and the experience to service any make and model of home air conditioner to make sure that you are cool.
You sure I can't just have a quick...
Yeah, we're done for today. Stay cooler with Bueller. Visit BuellerAir.com.
Facing a DUI charge or even a boating under the influence charge? Well, I'm your man, DUI lawyer Malcolm Anthony at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW. Once again, 285-4LAW.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
It's your midweek, mid-morning golf tune-up. Dan, Jeff, and PGA Tour Insiders.
Brunch with the Tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation and Art of Natural Stone. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Let's go! Another night of excitement and fun with your Jacksonville Sharks is here. Join us this Saturday, June 22nd in the ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena for some exciting football action as we battle the Massachusetts Pirates. Check out our awesome family packs. You get 4 tickets, 4 food vouchers, and a $25 Al's Pizza gift. For tickets, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700. And it's Star Wars night. The first 1,000 fans in attendance will receive a free lightsaber. Are you with the Rebels?
Red 5, I'm going in.
Are the Stormtroopers? Get photos with your favorite characters. Hang out with a game for our autograph session and player jersey auction. Let's go! Don't miss the fun and excitement of Sharks football and Star Wars night this Saturday, June 22nd at 7. For tickets, call 904-621-0700. That's 904-621-0700 or visit jacksharks.com.
Let's go!
Summer is heating up, and in Jacksonville, that means fun in the sun, days at the beach, and living that sweet Florida life. But you know what makes life even sweeter? A new Toyota from Arlington Toyota. Why Arlington? All right, you gotta hear this. Just drive to their lot and you will see that Arlington has a huge selection of new vehicles in stock in one location. No more driving around trying to figure out what you want. Arlington has it. And at Arlington, every new purchase comes with Arlington's lifetime warranty. That's unlimited time and miles. But it keeps getting better. How about 60 days to decide if you love your new Toyota purchase or exchange it for one that you do? Worried about financing? Don't be. Arlington is here to help with the Arlington Credit Helper. You even get a complimentary car wash with every service. And did I mention, Arlington has an amazing 4.7 star rating and over 20,000 Google reviews. It's going to be one sweet summer when you shop in person. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard or online at arlingtontoyota.com.
Kick it here with Zero Res. If you're like me, you like to sit on the sofa and recliners and watch a good game or show. You know, unwind down from the day. But sometimes TV time means food, drink, and a mess as well. That's why you need to have the Zero Res truck out and get that furniture looking great again. All of June, Zero Res offering 25% off all upholstery cleaning, 25% off a sectional, off a sofa, 25% off a love seat, 25% off your favorite recliner. Zero Res, man. You spell it forwards, you spell it backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Prosser here. As you may or may not know by now, I did the research and decided to go with Jack's Concrete Coatings for my garage floor. OMG, as the kids would say. I can't begin to tell you how good it looks, how happy we are. We brag on it anytime someone walks in the garage. They had the job finished in one day with a lifetime warranty. That's right. As the certified Pintech dealer for North Florida, the only company offering pure polyurea, I can't wait to do my patio deck next. Call 862-2000. That's the number, 862-2000, or jacksconcretecoatings.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
As we cool it down today, I just have to tell you that Pierce Capola finished 5 innings for the first time in his collegiate career. That would be the Gators starting pitcher. He set new career highs in single game strikeouts, which was 9, and pitches 98. So when Florida needed a guy who hadn't necessarily done a lot this season to step up, certainly Florida got that. If you missed it, Florida is leading Kentucky 14-4 in the bottom of the 6th. So Gators still up to bat in Omaha in an elimination game. Florida will turn right around, assuming that they win this game, and play Texas A&M, of course, the team that they faced very late night this past weekend. Florida State will take on Tennessee, another rematch in the College World Series. That game also went late, and certainly most Noles fans still furious about that third strike that wasn't called a strike. And so, yeah, Florida State takes on Tennessee at 3 o'clock.
I love it. I think that I'm going to go back to my tangent that I had, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. If you missed it earlier, I was talking about the ABS, the automatic balls strike system that is being implemented full-time into AAA. Keep an eye on that. Obviously here with the Jumbo Shrimp, we have a AAA team that we can firsthand see how this is kind of working out. Everything I've heard from coaches to players to people covering minor league baseball right now has said it's been fantastic, and though I know some people have some questions, is it going to slow down the game of a game they've been trying to speed up by adding these challenges? But obviously there's a limited number of them. I also think it will eliminate those moments where a player gets so furious and then they're yelling and the ump is yelling and then the bench is clear and then someone's getting thrown out and it's all of that mess. So you won't see those moments as much, which maybe some people will be disappointed in. But I just think it'll be really fun to watch this next half of the minor league season for AAA and in general, but the Shrimp here, of how this works out and when we can expect it in Major League Baseball to see some of this automated strike zone in some form.
Now, speaking of the Jumbo Shrimp, they won yesterday 7-4 over Memphis. The road series continues tonight. First pitch 8:05, and 1010XL Day is this coming Wednesday, a week from today. First pitch is 12:05, and Mia, if people want to throw out the first pitch, they just put hashtag 1010XL.
Hashtag 1010 Shrimp Day.
1010
we
Shrimp
made it
Day.
very
No XL.
easy. Hashtag 1010 Shrimp Day. Yes, just post a video. We've posted a bunch of examples so far on Instagram, X, Facebook, wherever you want to post it, and then just make sure you have that hashtag 1010 Shrimp Day. I was alerted that J.J. McCarthy apparently had an awful first pitch, the Minnesota Twins game yesterday. So if you think you can throw out the first pitch next Wednesday, a week from today, at the Jumbo Shrimp game, better than J.J. McCarthy, just post your video, hashtag 1010 Shrimp Day. Tell us why you should be the one to throw out the first pitch. Another exciting promotion that we'll tell you a little bit more about tomorrow, we will be having the 4th of July 1010XL cook-off, and we want you, our Heeligans, to get involved. Across all of our shows, we are going to have one chef per show, one
grill
listener,
master.
one grill master, one listener out there in Heeligan Nation that will be our grill master to represent Helmets and Heels. We've already heard that Jaguars today is hard at work getting their grill master.
They've already got Duval Doom.
They've got Duval Doom. I didn't want to announce it, but I think it's official.
They announced it. It's fine.
They
By the way,
did.
Cags
Okay.
home run.
Okay, Cags home run too,
Yep,
so the Gators
15
playing
to
well.
4 now.
But yes, we will have more information for you tomorrow and Friday on that, but very excited to also get our Heeligans involved in the kitchen and on the grill with our 1010XL cook-off as well. But first things first, a week from today, Jumbo Shrimp Day at for 1010XL. Be involved. Just post your video.
Yes, and we need to get your takeaway too, Mia. But as far as Cags, he now
That is my takeaway, Lauren.
Okay.
My takeaway is I need our Heeligans. I need you,
Help
Heeligan
us. We gotta
Nation.
win.
I need you to help us win
Lauren
the
will fight
cook-off.
you if you
And I need one of you out there, just one of you. We need someone who wants to throw out that first pitch. So make sure you post your video.
There you go. And it's Tuesday, July 2nd for the cookout. If people want to tell us that they want to be our grill master, what should they do?
They should. Well, we got to decide that. That's the fun part. You got to come back tomorrow. We're going to have the instructions because each show is deciding
On how they're picking their participant.
So we need to still get together and decide that, but that's why you got to come on back because it will be over the air or over the text line or over social media during a show. So that's why you need to come back to tomorrow's program.
Super cool moment that just happened in Omaha, and that is that Jack Caglione, I told you he just hit a home run. Well, he now has the most home runs ever at Florida. He just beat Matt Laporta's record. Laporta had 74. Cags was tied with him until just now. So he just hit his 75th home run. And Laporta, who's in the stands in Omaha, just stood up, took off his hat, did a hat tip, and then you got to see Cags, finish running the bases. So that was just such a cool moment. You kind of wanted Cags to take it over just because of everything that he's meant for this Florida program, both last year getting them to the championship series and the College World Series, and then, of course, this year pretty much single-handedly at times getting Florida to at least one game above 500, which is all they had to be for the committee to select them to even be one of the final teams to make it to Omaha. So that was a really, really cool moment. Great job by Matt Laporta and great job by the cameras and the producers who had a feeling that Laporta might do something when Caglione just beat the record again. 75 home runs in his career at the University of Florida.
We've had Cubs fans tweeting tanking for Cags. So.
Which I don't blame you, although it's interesting that in a lot of the Major League Baseball drafts, I see him going fifth overall.
Yeah, I've seen like fourth, fifth a lot.
But yeah, not first or second, which really surprises me with the power that he has at the plate, the bat speed that he has, the sweet swing that he has. Just unbelievable.
Which, and someone, because I mentioned earlier about how it's odd that they have the MLB draft combine during the College World Series, and someone texted into the text line also that Dansby Swanson was drafted while he was playing in the College World Series.
Really?
And, he was celebrated while he was on the field because he found out he got drafted while he was on the field.
Oh, that's super cool. Super, super cool. All right, so that's going to do it for us. Of course, don't go anywhere. XL Primetime is coming up next. Want to say thank you to John Scromolo, who joined us earlier, the athletic director at St. John's Country Day, to talk all about high school NIL, and, of course, Pro Football Hall of Famer LeRoy Butler, who hung out with us for about 25 minutes. We really appreciate his time. And, again, the organization Changing Homelessness, the event is tomorrow night, and that is going to be so much fun. The Home for All Sneaker Ball. You can find more information at homeforallsneakerball.net, sneaker spelled SNKR. For Mia O'Brien, for Taylor Dahl, for RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. We will leave you with the score 15-4 in the top of the 7th, Florida over Kentucky. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow. Don't go anywhere. XL Primetime is next.
Changing. Now what's right is right, but you ain't been right yet. These boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you.
It's a Kingfish Pest Control Wednesday on Helmets and Heels.
This hour of Helmets and Heels is brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers.